Hello, Maria here with a video on how to make an art journal cover from a manila envelope. So here I'm taking off the closure because it would just be in the way. I'm going to use some washi tape to close that up to make sure there are no holes. So there I have a jelly plate and I'm going to make some prints on the envelope. I'm not all that worried about what it's gonna look like, but I try to use some colors that I think go well together. And there will be some brown showing through from the envelope itself. Maybe I used a little too thin paint layer because the manila envelope is pretty heavy, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I use my brayer here to even out the layers. Not too heavy, not too thin. It's just a perfect amount. But that was better. So I decided just to blend in that thinner part, some blue to make it more even. Printing is fun. I wanted to use some small stencils that I had just to see what kind of effect I could get. I love that. Love the way it came out. And I'm soaking up the extra paint on a piece of paper. That way I can use that for collage and use a baby wipe to clean off the plate. So I'm gonna do the inside of the cover also. And I wanted to use some more of these stencils. This time I chose some flowers. They didn't really turn out that well. You can barely see them. Clean off that excessive paint from the stencils so they don't get rough edges in the future when you use them. These are some of my favorite colors. And also added some gold that you can see there. I like the way that came out. Then I did the inside flap. As you can see, there's some um, glue needed there when the flap came up from the closure. And here I'm bending it in the middle to make it like a book. You can use a bone folder or your finger to press down the line in the middle there. So I have some stencils with words, so I decided to use some here. One it's called Create, and I used the dark purple on a stipple brush, which is like you have to have just the right amount of paint on it. It can't be too heavy, then it goes under the stencil, or too light to where it doesn't show up. So, but you get a feel for it. You can also use those foam brushes, the flat head foam brushes. I didn't have any to use, so I'm using an old stipple brush, which is flat at the end. So here I'm just adding some accents to make it a little more dramatic. So I thought I could jazz up the flap a little. That came out all right. You won't be able to see real well on that one, but I put on way too much paint. But oh well. You can't be a perfectionist when you create, or you'll never get anything done. So I wanted to add some more words to the inside. So I have dream on one side. I'm using the same paint, same brush, same color, I mean. I like the way that came out. And up there, I'm going to use the word imagine. So it's important to really press the stencil down. You can tape it down with non-sticky, I mean tape that doesn't pull the paper when you pull it back up. But you can also, as long as you're aware to hold down the stencil really firmly, and it will be okay. I like that color combination. And I had a dragonfly stamp. You won't be able to see it, it's too small on here, but I made a cluster of them on the inside flap there. I love dragonflies. And here I had a spiral stamp. It's also hard to see, but it just adds a little something to your design. I wanted just a little more drama to it, so I decided to go with some white to brighten things up a bit. And so I stenciled another flower on the front. You have to wipe the stencil between uses because otherwise you might smear paint when you put the dirty stencil down. So there I'm gonna put another flower on the bottom here. I really liked that. There was we could go with gold or any of the colors that fits the design. And here I had a little unicorn print out. So I thought, well, I'll glue that on the back just for fun. And I had outlined some of those flowers that didn't turn out so well during printing. So that adds a little bit, and the colors fit with the rest of the design. So here are a couple of the pages I used for scrap. You can fold that up and put whatever paper you want. You can add as many as you like. You can sew them in, or I have another video how you sew papers to a cover. But you can also just tie some hemp string around and add more paper to it. And then I was trying to figure out how to put some elastic around the whole book to keep it closed. And I realized that the hole was just too big. So I had to come up with some kind of ingenious idea. So I took a button. I found a button with two holes. It was kind of an artsy button. Put those through the holes there and tied a knot. Tighten that really well. And then you can see how that pulled the button inside and it made a perfect closure. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Make your own now.